Hey guys, in this video I will talk about how I use building blocks and other items in RoCitizens to make detailed custom furniture such as this piano, tie, swing, fireplace and tons of other designs. This video isn't how to make each of these separately, but explaining the tricks I use to make them, such as how to overlap building blocks without them intersecting. Before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button to never miss another video. Now let's get into it. So first I'm going to talk about what is the most important thing in custom builds, how to make sure building blocks don't intersect. So all furniture items have this white grid base, which is the surface which intersects, and that is why you've always been able to place cupboards with fridges, and that's because the intersection surface of the fridge is at the bottom on the floor here, but for the cupboard it's at the back against the wall, which is why you can place them, scale them, it's not intersecting. But that is why you can't place a counter of the fridge, because the grids are going to intersect. And this applies to all objects. I'm using these as an example, but this is all objects in RoCitizens. But with building blocks, the grid of intersection is whatever surface you place it on. So here it's at the bottom, you can see the glowing blue outline, and here it's on the wall. And if you place it under something, it's on the ceiling there. So if you want to overlap building blocks with any object, you just have to make sure the grids don't intersect really. So I could place this building block here. I could then place this building block underneath, so the grid of intersection is there. It's on top of the building block, where you can, it's just on top of the building block because I placed it on there. I can remove that block, and now this block can be scaled into the floor. It can be scaled under the floor and it's not intersecting because the grid is there. So the grid isn't intersecting with any of these parts. So you can just make all of these parts overlap. That's right into the floor, but because a cupboard, you couldn't do that. So if I had a cupboard here, if I scale it down to the floor, it's intersecting with the fridge. So this is the trick I use to make these hay bales, because this rope around the hay bale is just one building block. So if I remove this, if I store it, what you do is you get a mouse pad or something similar, place that on top, get a building block, place it on top of the mouse pad, remove the mouse pad. To make it easier, you're probably going to want to scale this block down just to make it easier. Then place this under that marble building block you placed on top of the mouse pad. Then you can just scale this up into that block. And then you can scale this block to fit it how you want. So that is how you overlap building blocks. This is super handy. It's a great thing to know. You can also do this overlapping trick by placing the building block on the side of an object or underneath, just so that the grids aren't intersecting or overlapping. So you just have to apply this to make sure any custom furniture. In some scenarios you just really can't stop intersecting. Maybe because there are already lots of overlap parts, but when this happens you can just let it intersect, but only when you're sure everything is done. For example, this is going to intersect. I want to get this building block under here, but I know it's going to intersect because all these parts are at different angles and there's nothing I can really do to stop it at this point. So what you do, just super quickly scale it. You might want to stand further away, and you have to scale it before the game realises it's intersecting. It may take a few times, but hopefully the idea is you scale it far enough before the game realises it's intersecting. Just like this. Okay, that was really far. I think that may have gone into the wardrobe, but that's the idea, and it is intersecting. But that doesn't matter now because I've finished it. I started making curves with building blocks, so I thought I'd share how to do this. So all the curves are made with blocks as thin as they go, and they're just different heights apart. So here, this height gap is 0.1 studs, then it gets bigger, 0.2 studs, 0.3 studs, 0.4 studs, and you scale studs at 0.2 studs, so you can't do 0.1 stud scaling, but you can move them at 0.1 studs, which is how you make the curves. I also made curves for the fireplace and the tie swing. There are other items mostly used with building blocks, which are great for custom furniture as well, which I'll now go over. So bells are great for custom drawers as handles. I've used this trick a ton as it looks super cool. Hot beverages or the stationary mug are great for handles in cupboards, which is something I've also used a lot. They also work for things like these rings on this custom stove. Toilet paper rolls and toilet plungers are great for tubes and poles that need to be cylindrical. Spicers are great for any kind of button, also use this a lot. These small grass plants are great for making other unique custom plant products like a flower bed and things like that. For bigger custom items like desks, the square shelves are really great. I've used them a lot lately as you can scale them to many different sizes and they come in wood and plastic materials. These items are great and can be used a lot, but there are also a ton of other items which can be used in just specific furniture, like these lamps which can be used for DJ discs, or this vase for a plant pot, or these frames to make a sculpture. So when you're making custom furniture, just scroll through the shop list and see if anything will work. You might be surprised what can work. So that's it for custom furniture and building blocks. I hope this helps you in your own builds. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any more RoCitizens videos.